Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wake Up MLS Match Day 2, coming up quick and fast at the weekend. Fireworks, as either Hector or Katy Perry would say for Match Day 1. It was a banger weekend. I loved it personally as the winning side of the Texas Derby. We'll talk about all of that, a little bit of a Match Day 1, but primarily for today's video, Match Day 2 on the horizon. We're going to predict and preview how we feel all of those matches are going to go, either in quickfire fashion or with more of an in-depth preview. And as usual with Wake Up MLS, I'm joined by a great cast and crew. We got Davi from the Blue Boroughs Pod, Hector from Insert Name FC, and John from Loud and Proud Orlando, all here today, all right, to help me predict how we feel some of the big, I would say 5 marquee matchups for Match Day 2 will go, and then quick fire for the remaining matches at the very end of the episode. So again, stay tuned all the way to the end. You'll kind of get some quick fire takes for how we think the rest of those matches will go. All right, guys, let's waste no more time. Let's get right to the first matchup. It is one in the early window in the Eastern Conference. We got Charlotte FC hosting Atlanta United, and we have also a Wilfried Zaha expected debut at the bank for this game. Guys, man, this is a big one. You know, Latte Lath versus Wilfried Zaha, Miggy Almiron, you know, still kind of in the mix over there with Atlanta. Both teams, I think, have something to be excited about. Of course, Atlanta does in a big way, coming off of their, I would say, somewhat dramatic win at home against Montreal in the final minutes there. And then, of course, you know, Charlotte going on the road to a place that's difficult to play at Lumen Field. And in the very dying embers of the game, found a way to steal a point. So, interesting game going into this one. Hector, we'll start with you, bro. Just kind of curious. Opening thoughts, even a hot take, whatever you might have, bro. How do you feel this one really goes? What's your prediction?
First of all, there has yet to be a draw in this series, and the series is 3-3 between these two teams. So it is very much gonna be. And then the last time they played, Atlanta United won 1-0. So there's a lot to go into this game. You know, I think, you know, Atlanta, a lot of confidence coming from that win. Obviously, Miggy's back. You got Latte Loft, where you spent a lot of money for, and was it 22 mil?
22 mil.
Look, man, 11 million or 2 goals. All right, 11 million a goal. Let's see if we can bring that number down a little bit more for to get your money's worth. But you know, obviously, a lot of confidence going in there, and I mean, yeah, you gave up probably some questions on the defensive side because obviously they give up 2 goals. But still a very entertaining game if you're an outsider. And then Charlotte, I mean, probably not their best defensive performance, but it's also Lumen Field, and that's not an easy place to go to and compete in. But I still think putting a solid shift. I think both teams are definitely in the discussion of being playoff contenders this year, and I think we probably could see a potential MLS Cup playoff matchup in the future with these two. I think is this a rivalry?
Yeah,
I think so. It's still obviously kind of forming, but I would say it is 100%.
Okay. So, I mean, and then you add that element into it. Young rivalry, but still rivalry nonetheless. Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun game. And look, I was hyping Zaha in the last episode, and I'm going to continue hyping him. I think that he becomes a huge X factor in this game. And I'm going to say Charlotte takes this game with a Wilfried Zaha goal, a 1-0 win.
You know what, bro? I'm not going to lie. I don't know about 1-0, but I can see Charlotte winning this game. I think it's, you know, going back home after getting the feet wet in the opening game of the season in a somewhat hostile environment. I expect this Charlotte back line to, like, you know, kind of tighten things up a little bit going into week 2. And I think Latte Loft might still score. I just think Charlotte will score more. That's really kind of how I feel right now. I think maybe like a 2-1 because I think if they keep Atlanta off the score sheet entirely, Charlotte legit might be a powerhouse this season. I think that'd be pretty impressive from my standpoint, even this early on. So for all the reasons that you said, the one question mark that I have in the back line is still going to be aging guys like Tim Marine playing left back. Again, I know Dean Smith has a particular way of playing, but that's my biggest question mark is, like, for some of these matchups against more athletic teams, I don't know, maybe a Nick Scardina makes a little more sense. He's kind of a more utility outside back player. Just more athletic. Again, Tim Ream is very experienced, hell of a player. I just think against certain lineups, right, he'll probably have to be guarding Miggy Almiron in this game. So that should be a very interesting matchup to kind of follow and tune into. But yeah, outside of that, man, I do expect Charlotte to win this game. So I'm going to back Hector, at least with the prediction itself. I expect Charlotte to win. Am I have anything different? Am I got Atlanta?
No, I mean the way Atlanta played
sweep.
last week is Ronnie Dyle's bread and butter. He's just going to outscore the opponent no matter what. I mean, when he first came into the league with NYCFC, in his interview, he said he'd rather win 5-4 than 1-0. So
Hansi Flick style ball. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah.
so for that, but again, so you're still not backing Atlanta despite that?
No, I think Charlotte at the bank is it's a different beast, and I think if Wilfred Zaha plays, I think he has a big role to play, and especially in his home debut in front of the fans. And after his quote saying, "I really don't care what anyone thinks about me coming here," I think he's just going to cook. This is going to be Zaha season.
Is he going to come in for Vargas or Abada? Who does he start over?
Vargas had a better game than Abada.
I thought so too.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think Abada would be the one, but it'll rotate around. You know what I mean? I feel like they'll figure out who will be where. I feel like Dean Smith was not very happy with the press that they did in Seattle, and then conceding 2 goals. Like, they pride themselves on being a really solid defensive unit. So you're gonna imagine, like you guys say, back at the bank, they're gonna be really solid, and I think maybe just enough to keep Atlanta out, but hopefully enough for them to at least stop their main attacks and then get some goals themselves and probably see it through. It's interesting. It's like Atlanta's unstoppable attack versus Charlotte's, very solid, which should be very solid defense at home.
Yeah, I expect them to be. Like I said, I think they'll tighten things up. I'm just kind of curious to see where Zaha fits in and who steps out. But do imagine, right? If Zaha and Aguiman, get on the same page, and you just add a little bit of fluidity up front to what's already pretty stable in the defense and the midfield, I think it's really, really interesting. Again, a lot of veteran leadership in this team.
A 1-1 tie is very likely as well, though.
Dude, 2 draws to open the season when a lot of folks had Charlotte being contenders in the East this year.
Like, it could happen, They get that 1 goal, but they couldn't get the second, and then they let Atlanta get in back late, and it's 1-1.
So is that what you're picking? A draw?
They could probably suffice the people too that want a balanced record, and then they just have the draw to just to have it still.
It's a tight matchup, I think.
Yeah,
tight matchup.
I think so too. I think it's going to be interesting. Well, look, 3 wins, it sounds like, in a draw. Nobody's outright picking Atlanta to win. We could all be wrong. We'll find out this weekend. Let us know in the comments down below who you guys have winning at home. Got a feeling this was going to be a banger to kick off match day 2. We'll definitely see.
We're finally going to have a 2:00 kickoff. So
yeah, 100%.
On Fox. This is going to on public TV. This game is going to be on it. So.
Which is also very interesting. We haven't talked about that a lot on this show so far this season, but a lot more broadcast or essentially network broadcast coverage for MLS this coming season as part of their expanded deal with Apple TV. So we'll find out, I guess, if this brings in more viewers or not. It should. But either way, banger game. Moving on to another Eastern Conference matchup. John, we'll start with you on this one, man. Orlando City hosting Toronto after, I will say, next to the LA Galaxy surprise result against San Diego FC. To me, this was also pretty shocking. Like, not that I didn't expect Philadelphia to come out and swing at you guys in a big way, just I didn't see them pumping in 4, right? So knowing everything that happened, right? The score line, the 4-2 score line, all of those things. How are you feeling about your team coming into match day 2?
I mean, I think we don't deal well with the press, and we know that under Oscar. We just have never really been good at that. Philly came out and pressed us, and we just kind of crumbled at the back and made silly mistakes, compounded those mistakes. It was the beginning of the second half, and we kind of threw the game away. So that is something that we hope doesn't happen every week. But last year, we kind of started out the season and a lot like that. So hoping for a quick turnaround in the defensive performance for sure against Toronto. What we saw against Philly was positive in the attack. Marco Pasalic, we're very excited about him. He looks really good. Atuesta was fitting in nicely as well. So there's a lot of positives here. I feel like as long as we don't make stupid errors like we did last game in defense and shoot ourselves in the foot, then we'll be able to get a good win against Toronto. Maybe like a 2 or 3-0 at home to kind of cleanse our palate of that horrible, nasty start against Philadelphia.
Yeah, keep in mind too, right? With these two teams, they split the series last year, each winning their respective away match. Right? Toronto won in Orlando. Orlando won in Toronto.
To add to that, also the all-time series is balanced as well, 9-9-3 for each team.
Yeah, so it's just interesting, right? Looking at this team now. I think Toronto hasn't tremendously leveled up in any way, from my perspective. They gotten some players back, right? And so they like, I think, are a more fundamentally sound team than they were in 2024. But clearly, Orlando is missing some pieces from that. I would say these last two pretty positive years all the way around for Orlando City. So yeah, man. I mean, mistakes were definitely the storyline in week one against Philly. I just did not see it coming. This one's really hard for me to predict.
If we keep making mistakes, it's going to be another loss for sure. We got to figure that out. We hope it's instantaneous, but it might not be. So, we might be a vulnerable team right now. And Toronto, I think, they 2-2 against DC in that opening game week for them. They definitely showed some fight back there, not to lose that one. But I'm not wowed by this squad still. And I think that they're still going to be at the bottom of the table come the end of the year. So Orlando have got to get it done at home.
Yeah, I think so too. To me, it's kind of crazy to even say this, right? But like, after losing the week, the way that you did in week one, to me, because you get Toronto in week two, this is almost a must win. Like, just to give the fans something morale wise, right? Like, yeah, like we need this win just to get 3 points on the board, just to, again, make sure that we're getting some positive things. If we don't win a lot of road games this season, as an example, at least home matches can be kind of a go-to for you. And that's a positive all by itself. So yeah, I think with what you've had to deal with in terms of adversity as a team, this one seems pretty big. Like, it feels like if you don't get a win this game, a lot of questions just start to get asked only a few weeks into the season, which is kind of crazy.
Sure.
Anybody have anything different outside of like Orlando maybe winning this game?
I could see a draw.
Draw?
I could see a draw. I could see 1-1.
Yeah, I kind of can't too. I'm very torn.
Draw in like 6 matches, because a lot of these two have faced all the last 6 times. There's been a winner, and I mean there is pressure if you're Toronto, man, because you haven't won a match in 7 games.
Yeah. I don't know if they're looking at last week, again against Philly with Orlando, and just kind of licking their chops, feeling like this might be the match for them. They did win this match in Orlando last season. But I don't know, man. It's just I don't know why it's so hard to put faith in teams like Toronto, Chicago. It's just like New England. I kind of just shrug my shoulders at it.
I get that, but this is also one of those games where, or if you're Orlando, you cannot take Toronto lightly. You have to go in there as competitive as you can be, because you don't want the trap game being the thing, oh, it's Toronto, it's a toxic environment, they suck, all those things. You can't be thinking about that. You got to go in thinking that you're going up against Inter Miami in some sense, because even though that's not, but go in there being competitive and come out with 3 points, because yeah, it's too early to say must win, but it's definitely a must win after what happened against Philadelphia.
Yeah. I think if Atuesta and Araujo play significantly better in this game too, it's a much different conversation. Like a much different conversation. They had a very average game for me in opening week. What were you gonna say, John?
I was gonna say, we had 2 home openers, which is a really nice way to start the season. And so if we come out of that with 0 points, it's a real, alarm bells are going off already at the beginning of the year. Doesn't mean we can't turn it around, but the fans are just really hopeful that we start the year well. And so far, obviously, that's not the case. So I'd like to get off to a good start, so things are a little bit less chaotic here in Orlando for us. That would be nice.
And the start of last season was also pretty chaotic. Like, if anyone remembers, right?
We don't need the drama. We just like to, please just have a regular start to the season.
Yeah, it turned around fantastically for you guys, right? You guys ended up becoming like literally one of the most informed teams going into playoffs. So obviously, I mean, it ended well, but without the likes of Facu, right? without Rico.
Y'all had Hector in the first half of that season looking.
Yeah, bro. Hector was down bad, bro. He was.
It wasn't just me. Eli Lester.
Yeah.
We said some things.
This man was trying to justify it the whole way through. It was crazy.
We do better when people ignore us, Underdog status is what we like.
Yeah, I like that.
A lot of championship DVD moments. Tell you what, there was no championship DVD at the end.
I think because the backs are against the wall a little bit, I'm also, and it's kind of crazy to say that in week 2, but I agree. 2 home games to open the season. If you don't win either of them, A lot of questions get asked. I think Orlando, for that reason, turns things around. They have to win this game. Toronto's just happy to be here, I think. For whatever reason, I feel that way. They're just happy to be here, bro. They're happy to be in MLS, happy to be playing games. And I don't know if they're necessarily as motivated as
Orlando.
Orlando
They
will
gotta
be.
figure out that Insigne contract, man. I'm saying it right now. There's going to be a buyout.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
You know what? At least they got Bernardeschi, so at least they got one of them.
Yeah,
so.
and he got on the scoreboard, in the opening week. So there's some highlights here. I'm not saying the whole team is just not bought in. It's just collectively, it's just hard for me to take this team seriously. With that said, doesn't mean they can't get results. Does not mean that.
I want to make one correction. I said that there was no championship DVD in Orlando. That's wrong because there was a championship DVD in Orlando, and that is the double winners right there behind John right there. So there was, in fact, a championship DVD.
There was a championship DVD.
Just
not 2024.
There's an open cup, man. And we won a lot in USL. So we have won. We just never won MLS Cup.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, man. We got two open cups at Dallas. I flex those every fucking chance I get because I can't say anything about MLS Cup.
Hey, Hector, I don't know how.
Okay. All right, Davi. Let's relax, bro. Let's relax.
Well, 2 US Open Cups, 2 MLS Cups, I think.
We got rings on this side.
Yeah.
Your time hasn't come yet for you guys. But
anyway, you guys are both assholes. All right, well, moving on to the next
I'm sorry,
one.
how many Open Cups does NYCFC have?
Hey, it's coming.
I know, homie said plural. Rings?
Wait,
plural?
but how many Campeones Cups do you guys have, though?
Huh?
I technically we have more trophies than you guys do. Just saying. Technically.
How many US Open Cups does Dynamo have?
Yeah, I'll talk about, but again, with Dallas and NYCFC, technically more trophies. Just saying. If you count them.
You guys were.
All I know is
around for a lot longer.
All right, fair enough. All right, man. Big matchup for our third one here, guys. For our third in-depth preview, LAFC hosting NYCFC. Gonna be doing a live watch along. Keep your eyes on the channel for that. Me and Davi gonna be going live for that one. A big one Saturday night. Gonna be was it 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific? So tune in. That's gonna be an awesome matchup, I think. NYCFC getting Miami followed up by LAFC is very interesting to kick off 2025. Janssen getting tested.
Has yet to have won a game.
Yeah,
against NYCFC.
It's crazy, bro.
Only 3 meetings. So
yeah, but still,
take the
take the compliment, bro.
Jesus Christ, man.
Compliment, Davi.
This is why you have one MLS Cup.
Hey, how many does a team across the river have?
Yeah, I guess that's true. You were sweating bullets, though. Don't lie. You were fucking sweating in the 2024 Cup.
Hey, you know what? It's okay. We can.
This man was legit cheering on LA Galaxy. It's crazy. He bought a jersey. This motherfucker was in there just doing whatever he could for Red Bulls not to win.
They say football. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, fair enough. Look, guys, it's gonna be a juicy matchup, I think. LAFC just. Again, right, they had Bogusi goal, which, by the way, from my perspective, we didn't really give a shout for what the goal of the week was for match day 1 in our previous video on the channel. Guys, go check that out. Match day 1 highlights, bro. Bogusi's goal was taken as clinically as you want any striker to fucking take it. And good for him, man. I actually like Jeremy Bogusi as a person. I think he stands for a lot of good in the league. And on top of that, man, just obviously his debut for LAFC and no Giroud, no problem. Man's bagging fucking a goal that gets them over the line against Minnesota. So this was going to be big.
That goal too.
What's that?
So much meaning behind that goal for him.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I mean, I feel really again. Maybe this is too soon to be asking this question, but going into this game, if a Bogusi gets on the score sheet again, is he starting to lock down that striker position for LAFC?
No, I would assume so because Giroud hasn't really had a good run in the team ever since he came in, and he's just been struggling. So, I mean,
I think Musa said something that was interesting to me one time when he was talking about Giroud. Like, he's not the kind of 9 that you think would work for LAFC. He's the guy that just stays up top, but whereas Jeremy Bogusi, who is one hell of an athlete, and I think obviously if you remember his time at Portland, with his athleticism and just being a right place, right time, was always able to be a clinical finisher. And I mean, he had his moments with San Jose, and I think it was more San Jose's fault, not so much Jeremy Bogusi's fault. And I think now going into a team like LAFC where he has the resources that he has in that roster, I'm happy that he's going somewhere where it's going to benefit him. And I mean, I wish it wasn't LAFC, but he's going into the right place for him. I think we're going to see a lot more from Jeremy above the sea. It's unfortunate that his move to San Jose really cost him a lot. I mean, this was a guy that many people thought was going to be in the conversation for future 9 for the U.S. men's national team, and obviously things didn't pan out the way for him. But this could be his bounce back.
Yeah, I think so too. And like you said, I think he deserves it. So fantastic goal to get them the narrow win over Minnesota. And so for this game now, lining up against NYCFC, who were this close, right? This close from 3 points on the road against the defending MVP, all the Barca boys right down in Miami for this brand new head coach in Janssen. I think that, you look at just like how much confidence they can take, even with the dagger in the heart, right? The 10-minute and stoppage time goal that comes in for Miami, it feels fucking inevitable. They got it, sure, but still, you walk away with the point. Now, you head over to LA, get ready for this game, another road game. Davi, how nervous are you going into this game? Are you worried about LAFC at all, or does your track record against this team kind of speak for itself?
I mean, we haven't played this team in 4 years, so it's kind of hard to go based off of what you saw in 2021, 19, and 18. Sure. And, they were quite literally like an expansion club when we last played them. So, ever since both teams have won cups and, they've been in big games, so they've handled the pressure of, and, they've also overcome the narrative of them choking in the playoffs and not winning when it matters. So it's going to be an exciting game. Both teams are in different directions, I guess you could say, with the roster. And NYCFC, if you ask most of the fan base, it's like more of an incomplete roster than anything. And a lot of NYCFC fans were kind of down on the season because they literally announced Santi Rodriguez the official deal to Botafogo a couple hours before kickoff, which, I mean, we have the right to get pissed off about that because they could have been frank earlier in the week. But
yeah, probably could have timed that better, I think.
Yeah. But I think the performance in Miami and the way Pascal Janssen had his team lined up, he said it wasn't the original plan, but regardless, I love the way they responded. The first 15, 20 minutes, awful. But you know what? A ball over the top, Alonso Martinez gets the ball, doesn't have good first touch, but beats both defenders. And I don't care what you say, that's a red card every day. You can't pull the jersey and go through the man to get the ball. That's a red card. And he would have been in 1v1 with Ustari anyway. So, and then Micha Ilin is just hitting the Sui after scoring that goal. That's fucking amazing. Even I'm a Messi fan, but I'm sick of all
the
this
disrespect, bro. Yeah. Holy shit!
I'm sick of all this like cocksucking of Messi. It's like just for lack of a better term, it's cocksucking. And
yeah, it's simping at its finest form.
I'm fed up with it, man. And and the fact that they changed the kickoff time from 2:30 to 7:30 last week, and these players were still ready up for it, and they kind of stood up in the face of adversity, and very nearly close to getting a win. That would have been a statement win, upset of the week, if they were to keep that goal off the board. But it's a young team, and I think the nerves. If you were to ask NYCFC fans, like for the first 2 games of the season, I think the nerves have kind of calmed down a bit. I think with a little bit of know-how now with Pascal Janssen and him wanting to implement his aggressive style of play and wanting to go forward, I think there's a good chance that we can win this game. Whether we do win it or not, that's completely different. But I do think we're good enough to come out of here with a point.
Okay, so a draw on the road again. Two draws on the road against Miami and LAFC would not be a terrible start, I think.
I mean, we already have more points in one game than we had in 3 last season, so we're already ahead of schedule.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. That's a good shout. So a draw from Davi, and I think it's maybe a conservative one, just depending. I think I saw on FOTMob it was like 8 or 9% chance that most fans are giving NYCFC in this game. So again, it's still super early. We have plenty of days to go before the game.
I mean, but most people tend to give the home team on those.
Yeah, it is MLS.
Anyway,
it does favor the home team significantly. Mm-hmm. I will agree with that. I think it's gonna be a close game, no matter what. I'm actually gonna say, man, this one's super tough. I'm going to do a draw too. I'm going to sit on the fence this one. The issue with LAFC right now is that I don't necessarily, after watching them against Minnesota, they're just very wasteful with their chances. I think Abobasi had a good moment. They had a couple other good moments throughout the game. But outside of that, they were in the attacking third quite a bit and just could not really Bawanga couldn't get going. I don't know. LAFC to me, they're gonna start off slow. I just think they're gonna start off a little bit slower than just to kick off a new season than other teams at that elite level.
I mean, not only that, just like Miami, they're in CONCACAF. I mean, as we speak, they're literally playing right now against Colorado.
Exactly, right. So that's another aspect what we have to look at when you look at with this, right? Is they have more games on the calendar for the week, and so does that affect them enough? I think it does, and for that reason, I think even in front of the 3-2-5-2 over there, probably still going to be a draw and not the end of the world for LAFC to have 4 points out of the opening 6 that were possible. So I'll back down.
I feel like New York might upset them, man. I feel like don't underestimate the issues of being in CONCACAF. Like you saw them lost in the first CONCACAF game, and they got a 1-0, of course, against
Minnesota.
And so I think that they're on a rocky. It's not like all convincing right now from LAFC. They don't, like we talked about Giroud. There's problems there. So I feel like after being tired midweek playing right now, there's an opportunity here for New York to come in and
I think also
and pull an upset. They could do it.
I think also something that we kind of skipped over is they lost a lot, and they've been more proactive than NYCFC has in the window to try to replace those pieces. But are those pieces coming in too fast? Is to kind of get acclimated, because you can't really expect a guy from somebody like a Cengiz Under or one of their other signings outside of MLS to come in and adjust to the league and all these competitions that they're playing, and it's just not possible to get acclimated within like a week or two. So it's going to take time for them to really get back up to the level. But I think as of right now, if you were to tell NYCFC, play Miami and LAFC, but you're going to play them early on in the season where CCC affects them, I think you'd probably take that.
Yeah. And I will say this, though. When I watched LAFC play Minnesota, because I watched the majority of that game, I thought the new signings looked better than the players that were already there at LAFC. I thought Tillman, mid as fuck. I honestly don't rate Tillman. I think Tillman's okay. I've never thought he was a great attacking mid. I think he gives the ball away too cheaply. And at 26 years old, someone's supposed to be in his prime. He's really just not all that great, in my opinion. Not even at the caliber of LAFC to an extent. I think Denny Bawanga, again, just wasteful at 30 years old, just had a lot of opportunities near the byline, wasteful. I thought the most impressive player for me was David Martinez. I think that youngster, bro, that 19-year-old out of Venezuela, dude, he had these moments where you could just see the flair. You could see the technical ability, his ability to drag the ball in from a wide position into a more interior one and create a little bit of havoc. I thought Delgado had a pretty solid game all the way around. Even Igor Jesus, pretty solid game all the way around. To me, Tillman and Bawanga, I don't know. I expected more from them being the seasoned guys in that lineup, and they were there, but not really. So
to build off like you saying LAFC was wasteful, Miami was wasteful as well in that game, because if they took another chance, they could have easily won that game 3-2, 4-2. Yeah. So they missed their chances, and we also got Matt Freese. So Matt Freese also gives us a good chance of keeping us in games and maybe pulling off an upset.
Yeah, fair enough. So 2 draws. John said NYCFC win. Hector?
I'm gonna say LAFC win this game. I think they're gonna create opportunities, and sure, they might only make one, but I think that one is probably gonna be enough for them. I think unfortunately, NYCFC, you got to travel all the way to California. There's a time zone difference and all that. That's gonna be a factor into it as well. Triple C is going to be a factor, and I agree to that. But I think this will be just a 1-goal game.
Yeah, it could be. I think Martinez needs to have a big game for NYCFC in this one. I think that he just to keep the goal tally going up week over week. He was one of the most efficient strikers or attackers in MLS in 2024. So we'll see if he can kind of keep that train going.
Yeah, and which realistically, if you were asking an optimistic NYCFC fan, if on one point of these 2 difficult games would be very good for us, and then to come next week, the home opener. You probably expect to win that one, but 1 point in 2 away games, it's not a horrible start.
All right. Yeah, I agree. We'll see how it goes, but we will again have a live watch along, a live watch party for that game specifically, 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Central here on the GOLZ TV channel. Davi and I will be there for all the shenanigans. Don't miss out on that one. Again, subscribe down below to make sure you get all of those reminders as well. All right, guys. Last two matches here before we go into our quickfire reactions. First one, San Diego against another relatively new expansion side, St. Louis City. Look, man, this is going to be, I think, a pretty damn good game. I'm expecting it to be. I know St. Louis City didn't have the most exciting scoreline on paper. I did go back and watch a fair amount of at least the second half, some of the first half, because it was being played at the same time that the Texas Derby was being played. But I think that, like, St. Louis City got a little bit unlucky. It's another draw, though, and another draw at home, which to me, if I'm a St. Louis City SC fan, especially with all the creators, all the fans I've seen just hype the shit out of this Bundesliga 2 team wannabe. I just expected more, to be honest, bro. I just expected more from this team at home to kick off the season against a Colorado Rapids team that just lost Reggie Cannon, that hasn't upgraded in a major way since 2024. That's just lost a few different key pieces. I don't know, man. I just, not that Colorado's a bad team. I just expected more out of St. Louis. I heard from a lot of their fans they played really well. Musa came on the stream to kind of close out the weekend and felt pretty good about how they played all the way around. But no matter what, a 0-0 draw, not super inspiring. Meanwhile, San Diego fucking off to the races, bro. 2-0 against Galaxy on the road. So many individuals stood out in that result. And now they get to host St. Louis City in the first ever home game for this brand new San Diego FC side. John, just kind of curious, man. Start with you on this one. How do you feel about this one? To me, this is actually pretty tough to call. I'm not sure if it's straightforward.
I'm going to go San Diego purely because of the vibes that's going to be going on in that city. And I feel like, having your first ever game played in MLS as an away game is kind of a bummer, but they had an away game against the leading, the champs from last year. They go there, they win that. All the hype then builds to the second game of the season, which is your first ever home opener. I feel like that place is going to be absolutely rocking. I don't know what they've sold in tickets, but I imagine it's going to get, a sold out stadium in Snapdragon. It's going to be epic down there. So I think that pushes them over the edge. It's kind of like two new, teams that are very similar in the way that they want to play. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. But I think the home advantage and just the hype of that first ever game is going to get the San Diego, and Anders Dreyer being on a heater from his first game. The confidence is high. That as well is going to be the factor, I think, that gets them over the edge.
Where did we have St. Louis in our rankings before the season started? Were they a playoff lock?
I don't think so. I think they were in the rebuilding or trying to figure
bubble
it out.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe
Probably,
bubble.
yeah.
Probably bubble or rebuild.
I'll have to go find out. Guys, if you remember down in the comments, let us know. That video is already live on the channel. It's pretty recent. Yeah, man, I again, depending on where we had them, if they don't get a win in their opening 2 games of the season, one being at home against Colorado, the other one being on the road to new expansion side, San Diego FC, I think that all of those fans and those creators who were just hyping up St. Louis as much as they possibly could to kick off 2025 are probably rethinking a few things.
Oh, we had them playoff.
Yeah. That's what I figured, right?
It was Andrew
had him really, really high, and keep in mind,
I wasn't on that hype train.
He wasn't the only one. I saw several different channels who had St. Louis City at pretty high based off the signings they brought in last season, and yeah, there wasn't any momentum, but now with a full off season all together under their belts, they're going to come in 2025 and shake things up. I don't know. To me, this game feels huge for that reason. Like if they get 1 point out of the first 6 that are available to kick off 2025. And again, they're not playing against any clear top 4 teams, any clear elite level teams in MLS through the first 2 games. I don't know, man. I think it looks like we might be having another mid-off when it comes to St. Louis in 2025. Not really sure. But that's
also match day 2. I just want to emphasize that.
It'd be fair, bro, but like, how long can we say that, right? If match day 2 goes into match day 3, match day 3 goes into match day 4. Like, again, and this is somebody as FC Dallas fan who was telling himself the very same fucking thing to kick off last season. We're only a few matches in. How bad can it really get? Sure enough, it gets pretty fucking bad. And I think St. Louis would also agree with that.
I get what you're saying. MLS is just that weird, quirky league where that's you can't. But it's also very hard to predict. I mean, last year, Austin FC fans were like, "Oh, it's summer transfer window. We're about to be MLS Cup champions." Boy, were they wrong. So I mean, like it happens. You know, it happens with this, and I know that it's very reactionary. We're always going to be reactionary to day by day and all that, but it also is very early. And I don't want to, like I'm also one of those people that think St. Louis is going to have an improvement from last year, which I mean, improvement it can mean anything. That can mean a wild card spot for all I care. So, and I didn't sip the Kool-Aid as hard as Andrew did, but I mean, I do think that this team will improve. I think obviously going off against a team like Colorado, not the best result. But I mean, if you're St. Louis, you got to take positives, whatever you can, right? Because I mean, they're the new team, and that's how they feel. Yeah, I think it was a very underwhelming game as someone that had to watch, MLS 360 because Apple TV did not let me watch the Dynamo game for the second half. Not mad at that at all. Yeah, I think that's also a fair point, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be a draw. I think St. Louis and San Diego. Yeah, be happy that San Diego beat LA Galaxy. Great start to the season. Great to beat last year's champion. I'm not going to say defending champion because I think that phrase is stupid. But, yeah, I think it was a good win for them. It was also a LA Galaxy team that was very much not the LA Galaxy that won the MLS Cup. So I just think kind of bring them back down to earth a little bit, San Diego. But, yeah, I think that this is going to be a draw. I think, yes, the vibes at San Diego is going to be amazing. But I think St. Louis has shown that they are there's some positive from the defense of St. Louis, and I think that that's going to be a factor going into this game.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Davi, do you have anything different? Oh, just sorry, John, go ahead.
So they should have definitely beat the Rapids. I'll say that. I mean, the stats are like they're all over them. Like they should have got that goal for sure. They're going to be frustrated that they didn't get that winner.
The Claus header.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many opportunities they left on the table there. So I can see from that perspective, they're going to be hungry for sure. Game 2 that they got to get some results.
Yeah. Hartel was actually very, very good when I watched him, especially in the second half. I think he was creating chance after chance down that right wing. I think it was concerning from Klaus's perspective, not just the missed opportunities, but the lack of touches. I think he may have had the least amount of touches of anybody on the field that night, if I went back and read through that correctly. I don't know, man. I think Klaus has to be a much bigger presence this season for St. Louis City for them to really kind of take off the way that and hit that potential that so many fans, so many creators feel like they can reach, right? Be a lock for playoffs and be a force within the postseason, which they have yet to do. The only chance they had in the postseason, they got their asses kicked by their biggest rivals, right? Across 2 legs. So I don't know. If they don't win this game, again, I just think some questions should be asked. I'm not saying it should be, are these guys just hard flops after 2 weeks? But, I mean, again, it's not like they're playing Columbus Crew or LAFC or Inter Miami or the Galaxy, right? In these opening matches. It's a Rapids game they should have won. And honestly, going into this game, like it's a new expansion side. Even on the road, you can argue with how much they poured into this team, they should probably win this game too. So I'm going to say, probably, you know what, man? I was gonna say a draw, but I think it's gonna be San Diego. Like I just kind of convinced myself with the way I kind of talked about St. Louis City right there. I'm gonna say San Diego. I'm gonna back them. It's gonna be close, maybe like a 1-0. But I think until St. Louis proves they can score goals consistently, I'm not bought in.
I just want to say to the St. Louis fans, be thankful you're not taking on the monster that is Miami and LAFC back to back away.
Yeah,
like NYCFC is, but
yeah. And again, a back-to-back away, right? Again, to get someone like Colorado at home, I just think more should have been done with that. But again, it is the first game of the season, so you can always maybe call the first one a warm-up or a dress rehearsal to an extent. All right, so everybody got their picks in. Davi, did you get yours?
I'm going San Diego. I can't say anything more positive than other than the performance and the glowing review that I gave him in the other video. So I'm I'm going to roll with San Diego. I think Chucky and Dreyer get a goal each, 2-0.
Dude, if Chucky scores and the home opener,
that stadium's going to go.
Holy shit! You're going to hear
Snapdragon's going to be bouncing,
bro. That El Chucky Lozano chant's going to be just echoing all throughout the Snapdragon Stadium. It's going to be crazy.
It's just too bad that my club's playing at the same time, so I won't be able to watch this game. So
yeah, fair enough.
Maybe Apple TV blocks you, and then you have to watch MLS 360.
Why are you putting that on someone else, bro? Why are you putting that on someone else?
Whatever happened to that? No blackouts. Come on, Apple.
Yeah. Well, it was a great game that Hector missed out. We could definitely talk about it. And then finally, guys, the final preview for tonight, we have Vancouver, the Whitecaps hosting LA Galaxy, fresh off that season opening loss to newly expanded side San Diego FC. I think without kind of rehashing some of the holes that we poked at the LA Galaxy throughout the video, just kind of curious with what we saw in the Whitecaps, again, putting an asterisk next to that result because of Kamal Miller's 11th minute red card. Is there realistically a lot that we can take from that game? Like, can we look at that and be like, oh, dude, they beat the shit out of Portland, so they should, be able to cause a lot of havoc for the Galaxy? Or were both of these games just kind of opening day things that we really can't expect to be part of the analysis for this matchup?
If the Galaxy continues to struggle with the press, I think Vancouver can definitely expose that.
That's fair. I mean, that is like Ryan Gall's bread and butter, I feel like he does that so well, winning the ball super high up the pitch and then just finding a way, even if that isn't necessarily the idea of this, this Whitecaps team anymore, because again, no more Sartini, right? So different vision over there. But John, just kind of curious, man, how are you seeing this one?
Yeah, I feel like the Whitecaps have got some players there. I just feel they're going to produce quality, every single game. So I feel GOLZ. We talked about Nelson as well. I feel like these guys, they have the opportunity to create a lot of good chances. And I feel like Galaxy are, they haven't started well. They got to figure it out and figure it out fast. So this is an opportunity for Vancouver. If you just told me at the beginning of the season with this, these two teams, I probably would have said the other way, but based on how they've started, there's definitely an opportunity here for Vancouver to continue their good progress, and Galaxy have really got to just figure out why in game one they looked a shadow of what they were in 2024 and make sure they know what their game plan is this year without Ricky Buge.
Yeah, I think it's going to be how do they shut down Vita? In all honesty, to me, the biggest gap in the game for the Galaxy right now is the midfield. Like, it's the whole midfield. It's Cerillo not knowing if he should be more of a defensive mid versus a true box-to-box. It's Marco Royce not knowing where the fuck to be, what to do. Like, dude, he looks so lost when I watch him on the field. Like, I feel like he doesn't combine well with really anybody in that attack for the Galaxy. He's just supposed to be there because he's one of the big marquee players for this, this Hollywood side in the Galaxy. And I still don't know if he's even better than Fagundes at times. Like, I don't know, man. It's just a really weird side. If everybody was healthy, I don't think he's a starter on this roster. I really don't. So like, he's not a game changer for me. And so I don't know. I think this midfield's is
absolutely
a pretty big
not. I think
right
that's
now.
why Vanny went with Brugman and what was it? What was the other guy's
Delgado
name?
was the other guy.
Delgado, yeah. I think that's why he went with them two in the MLS Cup over Marco Royce.
Yeah. And look, man, this lineup that they had, again, Sanabria, Cerillo, and Royce, I'd be totally fine with having the Sanabria and Cerillo, because that probably will be their long-term double pivot. But in that 10, bro, if you don't have Ricky Puig in there, you got to get Fagundes in there or just something different, bro. Just I don't know. To me, Royce isn't doing it.
And I think Fagundes would be a choice if it wasn't for the fact you don't have
Paintel, yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know what the resolution is to this is. I don't know how they think about who else they throw in there, because I'll be honest, I don't know that much about guys like Parente. I don't know that much about Lepley. Some of these other guys in their bench could not tell you. So I'm really kind of curious.
About Miguel Berry.
I mean, I don't want to talk about Miguel Berry, bro. I watched that dude miss 2 clinical chances in that opening game against San Diego, and I'm like, you know what? They fucked up by selling Joveljic. So let's just be real. They fucked up by selling him, but they had to sell him, right, to bring in another piece.
That's more so the league with their bullshit salary cap rules, which needs to be abolished.
It is what it is. They had to
And
spend
the
5+
cash,
minutes on
the
an
cash
upgrade.
for player trade, like the player doesn't have a say in the trade, right?
No, because cash is like what it used to be, right? When they're player for player trades, it's the same exact rules, except instead of a player, it's cash. So they have no say, and they kind of just have to go. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of feel bad, but at the same time, if it's only Ramirez and Barry that you're counting on, they're almost the exact same profile of a player to an extent. I think they need someone that can come in a little bit deeper, get the ball, right? Kind of create some of their own half chances, some of their own opportunities, because I just don't think Marco Royce is the guy. I really don't, man. Like, I'm sorry, Galaxy fans. You guys might have wasted a signing on this dude, to be fucking frank. Like, 35-year-old, can't really offer you that much. I just don't think he's going to win you that many games. With that said,
like, man,
yeah, I think I'm going to back Vancouver. Like, I think the energy from this Whitecaps team is going to be too much, and I think that, again, if Brian White is looking for a center back pairing to go up against, it probably is this one. Who, to keep in mind, right, they still haven't directly addressed some of the issues that plagued the Galaxy last year defensively. I don't think they have, from my perspective. So I think Vancouver will get their chances at BC Place, and I expect them to take them. So I'm going to say 2-1 Vancouver.
Vancouver's got some like real major league vibes right now with this whole team for sale thing, and it's just like, why not us? Kind of thing,
And bro, this is coming from someone who's been a big advocate of like even going as far as like Canadian teams going back to like the Canadian Premier League, like letting MLS just really kind of be American focused to an extent. But different conversation for another day. I just still think that with all of that said, all that context, I mean, I'm just more impressed with what I see from Vancouver right now, even with what we knew about that Portland red card. So, anybody back in the Galaxy? John's thinking about it.
No, I'm just amazed. Like, the MLS Cup winner last week, like the loss of faith that's already occurring in the Galaxy, right? Like, so they got to figure it out. They got to figure it out quick. If you look at the Western table right now, you got San Jose and Vancouver at the top of the table. It's a wild start. MLS is drunk in week 1, bro. It's all over the place.
Insane. It's actually insane. Like when you actually look at this, right? And I'll kind of pull my screen up too. I think it's kind of crazy when you actually look at this and you think about what this. Here, let me just kind of pull it up. You think about how much this is going to change, right, over the coming weeks. But yeah, this one. So just look at this Western Conference, bro. Like this is to me is insane. Like, in what world would the Quakes have taken this? Would they have traded their lives in every?
They're saying stop the count.
Yeah, you know what? Right here, bro. Let's take. Give us the shield.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
San Diego are like, we're done. That was great. MLS was awesome. Thanks,
man.
guys.
As an FC Dallas fan, I'm ecstatic about this shit being top 4.
Y'all can change the season calendar now.
Yeah, Austin's up here, bro. Look at this. Look at all
you guys in August.
Below. It's crazy, bro. LAFC, Seattle, right? Colorado, even the Dynamo, the Galaxy, Portland, Salt Lake, like all these teams. I mean, Kansas City's still ass. I mean, it is what it is. But like, it's kind of crazy just again to see how much this will change. Kind of over the course of the season. But I agree with what John said. I think you look at this and it's just like if Galaxy lose both of their opening games to kick off 2025. Greg Vanney will have his work cut out for him 100%. All right, guys. Well, it looks like all of us again have Vancouver probably taking this one or a draw at a minimum. Again, guys, in the comments down below, man, seriously, let us know how you feel about this one. If you're a Galaxy fan, what's it going to take? What's it going to take to get this team to click right away while we're waiting a couple of months for Paintel to come back? And again, for this team to get rhythm. Would love to know what that is from your perspective. All right, guys, it's that time of the video. Quickfire predictions. I'll just reel it off with the banner down below. Everybody on the pod, let me know just kind of which one you're picking. Don't need a ton of logic around it. Just really quick fire. And then we will get out of here. All right. So first one we're starting off with Real Salt Lake hosting Seattle. Who we got? I got Seattle. All right. Sounders going to get their first 3 points, it looks like, to kick things off in 2025. New England hosting Columbus.
Columbus.
Come on, man. They got the eye of the tiger. They're fighting.
I got Caleb Porter on my potentially first to be fired list. I'm not feeling New England, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Because you're gonna hear them roar. That's what's gonna happen.
Come on, bro. This is a lot of references, a lot of Katy Perry references. I'm gonna say Columbus, but I actually part of me really wanted to go a draw. I don't know why. Maybe
It's
we'll see
MLS.
maybe we'll see the Goosebumps kits for this one. I think it'd be pretty dope. We'll see. We'll find out.
I think they're saving that for the Cleveland.
Interesting. We'll probably see
That's
those,
crazy how they're still playing a game in Cleveland too.
Sunday night soccer in Cleveland, Ohio.
I like it, bro. I like it.
Anything to
fans,
pay
tune
for
in.
the Deshaun Watson's contract. So
Yeah. That's what I was gonna
Hey,
say. The Haslam family is probably just forking over a good amount for that one. Red Bulls hosting Nashville.
Red Bulls.
Yeah, I think we'll go with the Red Bulls in this one too. It's in Jersey. Just out of that, I'm gonna go Red
Hector
Bulls.
is like really against it. I like that.
Davi, come on, bro. Be real.
But
Don't your bias get in the
like,
way. Be real.
The
I
hope
want
for
to
Nashville?
say so bad stinker of the week, but I think there's a game that could potentially take that title. So, I'll probably go. I don't know, maybe 1-0 Red Bull. They win it on a penalty.
He said he was saying snooze fest
For
of the
real.
week, 100%, bro. You know what? It could be. It very well could be. We'll find out. Philadelphia hosting Cincy.
Evander hat-trick.
Ooh, wow, on the road too. That bro, in all honesty, he gets a hat trick against Philly after them pumping 4 on Orlando. He's gonna start having some shouts, I think, for that way too early MVP candidate. We'll talk about that one next week.
Evander game. The Evander game. That's
the Evander game. Yeah, 100%, bro. Gazdag versus Evander is gonna be interesting.
I'm going to tie
give
on this
me
one.
I'm gonna go draw too, actually. I'm gonna go draw.
I think draw. I feel like Philly might surprise y'all. They got some serious hustle in that press, so that might surprise Cincy. And I feel like 1-1, 2-2, something like that.
Yeah, we'll see. Carnell versus Noonan. It'll be a good one, I think. What might be actually snooze fest of the week? Chicago versus DC.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay.
There we go.
I mean, it's gonna be DC.
I mean,
Benteke hat trick.
Berhalter goes, it's 1-1.
Benteke sets the record for most goals in the MLS game.
Yeah.
I'm playing.
I think Chicago, man. DC don't excite me, and there's a lot of hype around Greg and the opening game back at home for Chicago.
All you gotta do is just press Chicago. Like everyone knows what you gotta do against Berhalter ball. You just gotta press.
Yeah, seriously, bro. I mean, again, DC is also like pretty bad, and they, at home, a draw at home to Toronto. That's the only thing.
Are bad.
Any other team, and I'm probably backing them. Chicago first game, there's some hype there. Also, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a page out of a friend of mine.
Gutierrez look good, man, on opening day. They got to like, as much as you're like, yo, Chicago suck, you got to like maybe start to think that they could be okay.
Tell you what,
I'm going
to cover all my bases, bro. I'm going to say Chicago wins, because even if they don't, I'm happy. Right? They fucking lost.
I mean, it's only DC.
But if they win, I'm right.
A lot here. We're not asking them to be Atlanta or like Miami. It's just
you
DC.
say Gucci is an important player for Chicago, which you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
But Benteke is also pretty important to DC United. So
he is. It's just that he's like positionally, Guti can create his own opportunities, and Benteke he can too. He's just a little more reliant upon positionally other players to get him some kind of service, just to make sure he gets the ball. So that's why I feel like it could be.
Yeah, but if you're a DC United player, all you know is F it. He's out there somewhere.
Give it to the Italians. I totally get it, bro. I totally get it. It's 100% kicking and screaming, bro. Like that's the game plan. I just feel like still, I don't know, bro. DC has let me down. I try to give them the credit. Chicago too, bro. I actually stuck up for Chicago on this show so much throughout 2024, and now I'm just like on my villain arc. Like fuck that team, fuck Berhalter.
I've been burned too many times.
Yeah, bro. I'm done sticking up for this team. I'm just done.
That's what happens when you let go of Lassiter.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you. I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna cover my bases. I'm gonna say they win, because it's either 1, I'm right, or 2, it's a reverse jinx, and I feel good about that too. So fuck it, Chicago for the dub.
This is my stinker of the week. No.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see a 0-0 with this one too. Hector, who'd you have?
I have DC.
DC. All right, the hipster shot. We'll take it. All right, Minnesota hosting Montreal. This could be a good game, actually.
Minnesota.
Draw.
I have this as a 0-0 boring draw. Yeah.
I actually have this like a 2-2. I think it's gonna be the opposite.
An exciting draw.
Yeah, an exciting draw. I think whatever it is, Montreal like is ready for the season when it starts, like more than most teams. I think they'll fade as the season goes on. But I think that both these teams are pretty damn good.
Team that matches the energy of their opponent.
Yeah,
I think that's what we're gonna get from them. They match the energy of Atlanta United. They might just match the energy of Minnesota. So.
And left it late too with Atlanta. That's the thing too. Like left it late. It was actually a pretty dramatic win for Atlanta. So I think another game on the road. This team also probably loves road matches. It was the same case for them in 2024. Minnesota looks good against LAFC, but I'll say a draw here. Davi, what would you have for this one?
Minnesota.
Okay, we'll see how that one goes. Sporting Kansas City taking on San Jose. Give me the Quakes, bro.
Quakes.
Yeah, Quakes all the way through. John, same thing. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
No words needed. Colorado.
Thought that we would ever have that conversation.
We've never had a full sweep of San Jose on these predictions, so that's a milestone, guys. Cherish that one.
You're going up against Vermees, so you know.
Count it as a fucking dub, bro. I'll take Bruce Arena over Peter Vermees every day of the week. Colorado hosting FC Dallas. This was interesting.
What's the weather? What's the weather?
Bro, in all honesty, that's actually a valid question. And they narrowly beat Dallas in Colorado last season. I think it was like 2-1. This season's a little bit different now, of course, right? So a lot of pieces have moved for Dallas. Colorado's kind of more or less the same. But at home, I don't know.
I'm going to take Dallas just because of CCC.
That's actually a good point. How's
Lucho doing, man? Is he settling in well? It's all about whether Lucho's ready to fire at all.
I mean, the Dynamo pretty much just ganged up on him. So
they literally, bro, they double team and triple teamed every step.
You got it.
It makes sense. Him and Musa in the first half.
I can't fucking stand it, Costa. So thank you for taking him out of the East.
You're welcome. I think in all honesty, the game plan from Houston was we're gonna swarm Musa and Lucho, and that's really we're gonna force everybody else to beat us, and that's kind of what it was. Like in the first half, they hardly got touches, and every touch
apparently Bardlow missed the memo about that one.
Well, but again, it happened in the second half. He lost concentration, right? To be fair, I don't know why you guys are trying to build it up out of the back when it's like pouring down rain, it's kind of cold. Maybe just get it the fuck out. But hey, respect. I'll take it.
Brexit means Brexit.
I'm going to go with Dallas, obviously being a homer pick. I think Colorado probably will score with some of the players they have, but I think it's going to be one of those where I think Musa is just going to show his class. It's going to be a 2-1, another road victory for Dallas, which is, keep in mind, going to be a first for Dallas. Dallas only won one road game last season. We've already checked that box for 2025. I like the record getting broken. 2 road wins in 2. Give me that.
Already had a schedule, huh?
Already had a schedule. John, how you see it going?
Yeah, man. I feel like I was gonna go tie, but I'm with you, bro. Go Dallas. Go Lucho. Yay.
Yeah.
I don't care about the West. I don't care about the West. So yay, Dallas.
Yay. All right, we'll take it. Colorado, eat it. All right, next we have Portland versus
I haven't even made a pick.
Oh, sorry, Hector. Well, I figured you were just gonna, again, go against Dallas, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, Triple C is gonna be a factor. FC Dallas.
Hey, the Houston fan went for Dallas.
It's the sweep
all the way around, boys. W's for Hector down in the comments. All right, now let's see if he makes it another Texas opponent backing. Portland hosting Austin FC.
I'll back Austin. I hate Phil Neville, and I think he's the first one gone out of the managers.
Interesting.
Yeah, right up there with
I'll say that right now.
This is kind of crazy, bro. I'm actually going to pick a draw only because I think I still want to see what Austin does on the road. I think they're going to be a good team at home, 100%. On the road, I don't know, man. Portland's still so hit or miss. I got to see them play with the full 11, the full 90. This will probably be that game. Austin could win, and in which case I could be wrong. But I'm going to say a draw.
Yeah, man. Austin's got to travel up to Vancouver, to take on this Portland team. I was waiting for you to see.
Dang. Yeah, so Vancouver part 2. Yeah, 100%, bro. Vancouver in the United States. 100%.
Vancouver Park.
Vancouver Park. It'll be a hostile environment. Don't forget about that.
It's gonna be a draw.
Also, that artificial turf, man, it sucks up there. Like a lot of teams struggle on that turf.
Yeah. So I agree. So we said 2 draws and 2 Austin wins. What I heard. Right, Davi, you got Austin winning.
Yeah, Austin. Yeah.
Okay. No Portland dubs. Sad day in Portland.
I'm sure we'll hear it in the comments.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Honestly, we shouldn't though, because they got their asses kicked week 1, even with.
What happens when you disrespect the king of Vander?
Yeah, true, very true. And then finally, the game to conclude Sunday Night Soccer. Houston Dynamo again hosting, but this time Inter Miami. So can Bartlow pick himself up and get ready for Messi and company in this one, Hector?
I think Chenko will be available for this game, so that's a big up.
Oh, that is a big up.
The question would be, will it be Bartlow or will it be Femi? Did Femi do enough to put himself in that starting lineup for this game? I would say he deserves a shout, but I think this is one of those games where you need your experience, especially in that back line. I think the Dynamo, hey, last time we played Inter Miami, we know what happened. So
it's true. Can we see another draw? A draw maybe in this one? I kind of feel like it could go that way, like going down to Shell Energy and just trying to get a draw, just depending on what Houston weather looks like. It could actually be beautiful next week, so maybe that won't help.
Why did I think this game was at NRG Stadium for a while?
Oh, it could have been actually with Messi coming to town.
No, it's Shell Energy.
Okay,
I think I was thinking of last season.
Maybe.
No, what they did was for
Leagues Cup
for Tigres, and because it was Tigres.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Tigres
That makes
Miami,
sense.
so.
Okay, so again, how we feel about this one, Hector? Draw, win?
I feel like it's going to be a draw. I mean, if anything, it'd be cool to see a Griffin Dorsey goal, just because remember, the all-time clip of Messi just being like wowed by the Griffin Dorsey goal. So
yeah, it could be, bro. If Houston scores first, this one's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Davi,
I wonder how many minutes will the ref give Miami to fuck over Houston?
This dude's still bitter, or not bitter at all.
I guess we'll find out on Sunday Night Soccer with Andrew Wiebe and Taylor Twellman, and I don't know about the other guy. I forgot the other guy.
Jake Simmons.
McCarthy.
I might switch to Spanish. Diego Valeri.
Too many Red Bull guys on the English side. I think they need more diversity to, just to get more representation around the league. I think they went full Red Bull Apple.
All the NYCFC guys speak Spanish.
That's true. That's true. So who do you have in this one then? You're picking Miami?
Yeah, I guess.
John, Miami?
Miami pick ever.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's got to be Miami. Sorry, Hector, bro.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Hector. This is gonna be tough, bro. If you guys get a draw, it'll be a huge it'll feel like a dub, I think.
That's why I picked draw.
Yeah, because like Davi knows, man, you're playing the refs too. Like I love how bitter you are for a New York City fan. Try being an Orlando fan for a while, man.
Dude, no, they literally
deal with all the messy stuff. Then
dude, they took 3 minutes looking at a potential penalty, which was never a penalty. It came off Meech's thigh, purely his thigh, and then they added 11 minutes because of that. That's fucking bullshit.
I think I'm numb to it now, bro. I'm just numb to it. I'm just walking around being like, it's all Messi League soccer. We're just here playing in it,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Bro, we all should be.
We like 1 year we had
but if there is a penalty, it probably was that the Dynamo did it.
Fair. It's probably Bartlow, right?
Yeah, but look, man. I'm rooting for any team out there to take down Messi. I just don't think it happens in this week. I think Houston could. If they really hunker down, they could get a draw. So
I think if you have Franco Escobar, you have Chenko in that back line, it does change a lot of things, obviously, because last game they were not starting. I mean, Chenko wasn't even in the bench. Franco came off the bench, but when those guys are on the field, also Franco Escobar might be the guy that causes a penalty. I'm just that might be the guy.
Told me, bro. I'm gonna go in with a draw. I think I kind of want to see what happens if Miami come out of the first 2 opening matches without a win. I think that'd be really interesting to see what happens. Just again for the mayhem that ensues in match day 3.
Mascherano out.
But I think a draw would actually be very interesting. And again, Hector showed me a little bit of love on the Dallas side. I can't give you a fucking win against Miami, Hector, but a draw is not a bad.
I can't even give myself a win.
So there you go.
Apple,
but guys,
Apple TV might block me from this game too.
nah, no shot. That happens again, bro. They got to figure shit out over there. Okay, you got to prove that you're again even worth the billions of dollars you spent to get this deal over the fucking line.
You need to sign up for
I'll
severance.
blame Sasha question.
It's a random fucking blame it on Sasha. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Look, that's it for our predictions for our preview for match day 2. If you haven't done so already, man, first and foremost, comment down below. Let us know how your predictions are looking for this coming week. I think some big results in match day 1 have obviously affected our thinking, our takes for match day 2. So if we were blatantly wrong, as you always do, let us know in the comments down below. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, like it down below, subscribe to GOLZ TV for more weekly MLS content. If you do want to see us again, more importantly, live for the coming weekend of matches, Davi and I will be going live on the channel for the LAFC versus NYCFC matchup on 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Central. Again, come hang out with us. Come tune in. It's going to be a banger game. We can't wait for it. But yeah, man, excited for match day 2.
I got one thing to say though.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Jose.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it.
Birthday,
Yeah.
dude.
Not official till Friday the 28th, but it is. Yeah, my birthday is coming up. I'm an old man, guys. I'm turning 34. It feels kind of surreal. Yeah. Damn.
Oh, I'm 34 too, man.
I'm 33. I'm 33.
Yeah, the 30s club. Davi, don't tell us because we don't want to
what are
age
you
ourselves,
like 10
bro.
years old?
Dude, I'm a U22 initiative player. So
yeah, there you go. I like that, bro. I like that. So
I wish we could just show
hanging out in
from
the
the
vet
90s. If we ever do like an in-person video, we need to have just Davi look at technology from the 90s and
bro, you know we could do that when we I think in certain weeks throughout the season when we kind of have more of those evergreen content videos. Again, subscribe to GOLZ TV for this content, kind of ranking MLS players all throughout the history of the league, right? The top 10 midfielders, top 10 attackers in the history of MLS. When those videos come to the channel, we already have a few of them. That's where I think Davi's his lack of history there is going to really kind of shine, but we'll find out. But anyway, guys, again, support GOLZ TV any way that you can. A lot of content coming your way. And of course, I'm going to give a shout out in the description down below to all the gentlemen that you see on screen today. Go follow them. Go watch their content. Go check them out. Again, all covering MLS and other leagues in their own unique way. All right. So for everybody here at Wake Up MLS, my name's Jose. That's Davi. That's Hector. That's John. We'll catch you guys next time.